White people focus on control. White people focus on takeover. Black people don't focus on that. Black people focus on soul. And where that soul comes from is family ties, soul ties, food, festivities. That's what bring everybody together. That round table, the big mama house. White people ain't got big mamas. White people ain't got OGs. White people out here playing in the basement. They mama working 12, 15 hours at the hospital. They down here trying to figure out how to put a pipe bomb to take over here and kill everybody. It ain't the same. You'll never find a black boy in a basement nowhere in America making a pipe bomb to go kill a bunch of white people. You'll never see it. You'll never see it, bro. No. You ain't gonna see it. So whenever you talk about tradition, culturalism, stuff like that, black people just got that rhythm. That rhythm comes from a long time of being in the fields, a long time of understanding where culturalism comes from. Whereas white people just, they're gonna crack that whip, they're gonna put your foot on their neck, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna throw scraps at you. The thing about black people, they knew how to take all that pain and turn it into purpose. They took all that pain and that suffering and made families. They took all that pain and suffering and talked about it around a round table. They took all that pain and suffering and turned it into fun. You see, white people don't do that. White people are all about control and takeover. So I just think the difference, that's the difference.
I saw something on the internet that said, I've never seen a white person in my dreams. Have y'all? Not only have I never seen a white person in my dreams, I've never even thought about the fact that my dreams is black people. I see white people, Mexican people every day, all day. But my dreams is black dreams. Usually me fighting or riding dragons. But I'm curious, other cultures chime in. Mexican people, do y'all see only Mexican people in your dreams? White people, do y'all see only white people? I need to know, I need everybody to chime in. Asian people, y'all see other Asians? Polynesians, Samoans, do y'all see other Polynesians? I need everybody to chime in because I know I ain't never seen nobody but black folk.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
So in today's episode, guys, have you ever heard of the saying that goes, a few good men? This is a quote that was quoted from a movie, Tom Cruise movie, right? And in today's episode, in as much as I do understand there are a few good white people, in general, you never let me know that all white people are good people so long as they refuse to fully pay reparations to Black America, the same way that they accepted to fully pay reparations to Japan, they accepted to fully pay reparations to Israel. They have paid other people reparations, but when it comes to Black Americans, that is where they draw the line. Right. That being said, we are going to be reacting to videos of Black Americans who will be warning each other about fully trusting white people and the reason why they're warning each other against white people. Now, the question is, would you agree with today's speakers or would you have something of the contrary to say about this? Let's watch what we prepared and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
Question 1. Which race of people hates white people the most? I'll give you 3 seconds to answer. It's other white people. World War I and World War II was a massive white-on-white crime where white people were the players and they were also the victims, where millions of white people ended up losing their lives. And even when it comes to colonization, they raped, stole and murdered other white countries too. And look at this list of white-on-white wars. These people can never stop fighting, can they? Question 2. Which ethnic group hates white people the most? You have 3 seconds to answer. That would be the English. The English, as part of the United Kingdom, which is still run by the English, have invaded 171 countries, including these white countries. So when white people start crying and say that black and brown people hate them, just remind them that nobody hates white people more than they hate themselves, and not more than the English. So English people, stop being so lazy and just saying that I hate white people, when I have been advocating for the Irish, Welsh, Eastern Europeans and other Europeans longer than you have. I just don't I farted. I just don't advocate for you.
studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. Your law is a farce, and we see it every day. You demonstrated it in Alabama. And I can say you because you're part of the whole system. You profit from it. In fact, you make your living from it. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you tried to force upon us is contaminated. Well, so you can have him. And here's what I'll say. I wish you would follow Jesus like we followed him. Because if you did that, then we'd be in charge tomorrow.
When you were on your way in, one of my producers said, you got to ask him at that time he was on the news.
African-American rappers saying N-word this and N-word that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay. I was in a room with multiple people, and I said, that's from a show. And they said, no. No, that was on the news. No, that was on the news. No, he said it to a guy on the news.
The reason that people thought it was real is because the sentiments in the scene are real. The sentiments that I express. To the newscasters, and I'm in a room with all white people right here, you know what y'all say behind closed doors. You know what y'all say behind closed doors, right? He's shaking his head. Yeah.
Nah.
Lie, mama. Lie, mama. So the fact that for black people, we're saying, well, that's what they say behind closed doors anyhow.
Right.
So you're on the news, you're on the air, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. You know you
say
want
it so bad.
You want to say it so bad. Yeah. And I help you. So it was the sentiments were very, very real.
Yeah.
And that's why people thought, oh, my man, calling them out the way they need to be called out. My man. A lot of people thought it was real.
Who are you rooting for? Who's black? Which team are you supporting? Which team is the blackest? Which team are you betting on? Which team is the blackest? Who are you betting on? Who's black? Who are you voting for? Who's black?
Am I done talking? Absolutely not. You think I'll ever be done talking about your people? This is what y'all did, bro. I would never take no morality advice from a white person, ever. The last group of people I would ever take morality advice from is a white person. Because there's no way you can do something like this to a group of people and then think you're right. You know what I mean? You know, vast majority of slaves were not bought, they were bred. So that means a lot of slaves were just like this. They were born into slavery, bro, just so they could fatten white people's pockets.
They've never had to do their own labor. And that's why they keep poking us. Because they got themselves into a really big, hot-ass mess. And now they're waiting to see who's going to clean it up. And nobody, the people who usually clean it up, us, we're not doing it. I don't even know if they know how to do it. Centuries of never having to clean up your own mess. They've never had to do their own labor.
Superior. Baby, your eyes are blue because it's a genetic mutation and a recessive gene because your ancestors f*** on each other too much. But yeah, superior. Somebody go tell him for me.
Honestly, I can never be offended by anything that white Americans have to say to me because I pity them. I couldn't imagine growing up in a culture that is so built off of lies. First of all, the lie of white supremacy is white culture. Their entire culture is made up off the lie of white supremacy. On top of that, all the evil that your ancestors have done and then omitted from history, they didn't put it in the textbooks. They didn't pass it down as oral tradition because why would you want to tell your grandchildren that you went to go watch it hang? Why would you want to tell them that? Why would you tell them that you voted in the disinterest of people of color, immigrants, and black people because you wanted to maintain white privilege? Why would you tell them that? Right? You're not going to tell them that part. You're just going to tell them about Paul was a veteran. He fought in the Vietnam War for our rights. You're just going to tell the good parts, right? This is how white Americans' culture functions. They lie to themselves And then they lie to their children so that history is skewed. Because if you don't know that your ancestors were savage, you start to act like they weren't. The only problem is we know they were. And anytime we bring it up and we point it out and we connect the dots between past to present and how we're still affected by the past and we're still affected by your evil-eyed savage ancestors, y'all get mad because you don't realize that that's the truth. And you're running from it because it would make you feel guilty. Instead of just sucking it up and owning it. Oh, shit, our ancestors was some bullshit. Anyways, how do we move forward? No, you want to argue with black people. I feel bad for y'all because y'all exist y'all are like delusional. Y'all are living so out of touch with reality. The rest of us know what the fuck going on. Y'all are out of touch.
When it comes to black people, and I mean every single black person around the globe in this world, I'm Nat Turner. Call me Malcolm X. I don't play about black people. I do not play about black. I don't.
So guys, welcome back. There's something I usually like to say, and that is someone can try and imitate who you are, but they can never truly 100% be the person that you are, the character that you are, but they can try and imitate you. Now, the biggest reason why Black Americans are loved all over the world is because of their culture, their very vibrant culture, the way they sing and how they sing with soul, and we've also seen that they have good food. We've never tasted that, right? But in general, for Black Americans to have passed through whatever they passed through in regards to slavery, and further on go and experience systemic racism and systemic injustices throughout the profiling of police during checks and whatnot, and still manage to keep their black joy and still manage to be happy after all that's been said and done to them and about them. That is something to be admired, and that is the reason why I said someone can try and steal who you are by reinventing themselves to look like you, but they can never truly be you, right? And also, when you speak on somebody's character, you only have to look at the history or the historical behavior of that person, and this is why we normally talk about history informing the present and the present informing the future, right? So when you talk about matters to do with reparations means you're giving somebody compensation for whatever you yourself made them go through, or people in your family or people in your lineage, right? That being said, why would you want to acknowledge the wrong done to Japan and the wrong done to Jewish people while at the same time deny that any wrong was ever done to black people? Somebody once said that black pain is not considered as human pain, and that is very true. What the greatest proof or evidence of that is when you're sitting across a lot of leaders from different countries and asking them to recognize slavery as a human rights violation, and a lot of them to vote no because they don't want to pay restitution to those people, right? And that means these people will never accept that they wronged black people, and for that reason, even the generations that are coming after them, they will never accept that the wrong was done to the generations of black people that was before them, and the wrong that still is being done to black people who are living in their times, and that is the reason why a lot of white people would not want to see the injustices that are still being committed right now, because we have seen a lot of videos on the internet that are right now getting exposed about how police choose to treat black people versus how police choose to treat white suspects. And there's a lot of grace that is given to the white community when police are handling them, but when it comes to black people, the first thing they have to be in fear of is their life, because they're not seen as human beings. For example, you look at how a 12-year-old black boy might be treated versus how a 12-year-old white kid might be treated. And right now, a lot of black Americans are talking about why white police don't see black kids as human beings or as children. They treat them as criminals, as adults, when in fact they are kids. But when it comes to the white kids, they're given the grace of being seen as children, and being given chances and opportunities. For that reason, it's really, you understand why it's difficult for a lot of black folks to be able to trust white folks. It's really difficult for them because you only have to relate them with the historical evidence they've been leaving behind. And there was one speaker who was talking about how if a white person was able to put a child into slavery, and there was a picture that was being shown, right, to show a kid who was born into slavery. If somebody had the heart to do that and not to view that child as a human being, then how can you trust such a person? And I feel like that is quite a valid question. How do you trust a person who came from a lineage of people who did not recognize black children as human beings? And even today, only that the treatment has been modified, the treatment is looking different, but they give black people a treatment that quite honestly they would never want to be treated. Them or their children, they wouldn't want anybody to treat them like that. So why are you treating black people like that? So guys, let us know what you think about this episode down on the comment section, and also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you so much for watching.